So Reminder 300. Reminder 300 is what I call this section. It's how I use reminders to get even the simplest of things done. Here I'm showing the kind of green toothbrush. It was too difficult to navigate the steps of brushing teeth. So I eventually came up with lists and new ways of brushing your teeth and storing things so that it would take less brain power. Putting on socks and shoes, I needed lists for, and even then I'd leave the socks turned inside out. Cooking eventually was kind of one of the most complicated things I was able to do with the reminders. And you can see this kind of back and forth here. We've got the steps written out, and they're very specific. Like one step is turn on the burner, then an alarm would go off, and add the noodles. Another alarm would go off as I stir the noodles, and I would set these up so that I could just kind of go blank. My mind would go blank in between alarms, and the food would still turn out and be ready on time. And that took a long time to refine, but the approach worked very well. And then we end here with all these lists, and this is approximately showing for one day that I would go through about 300 reminders. And they were all things that I actually did because they were so small. Take this thing from your pocket, put it over there, etc. So here we're looking at drawing again. Remember those drawing scenes from earlier. As you can see, the drawing is very basic by comparison. This was all I could do for a while, and even that was too much with the sort of dropping of the pen, having to quit. It got pretty clumsy, just knocking things over, depth perception, spatial awareness, not being very good. And then just a lot of times my hand would just open and things would drop. This puzzle scene shows how looking at something kind of complicated would turn into something really complicated until it was almost unintelligible. And the sort of like sound that doesn't match the objects here, or just sort of to convey a feeling of the strangeness of this setting. And here the bowl clank is different. It's still a problem, but it's different. We can see chess is still off limits, but cards are starting to come back. We're still seeing those kind of slow improvements. Reading doesn't make me as sick as you'll see here, but there's weird things going on with the words. They're moving around. I'm missing parts. Things are jumping in and out. This is an okay representation of what some stuff actually looked like. Here I plug something in, look back, it's unplugged, but then look again and it is plugged in, which is a bit of an improvement over the first time. My memory was serving me a little better, although my perception was still a bit off. Next is some more improvements.